It's May already. Spring is here in full swing by now. Welcome to my May 2022 bullet journal layout. As a new mom, I needed a really quick layout for this month. I didn't have time to do the multiple page layout that I normally like to stick to for each month, so I went with a 2-pager for this month, with everything being included in the weekly spread. Although this video is sped up, the entire layout took me about 25 minutes, not including penciling it in, so I would say another 5 minutes, including the penciling and planning. This first page is super simple, with just a neat little graphic at the top to introduce the month, so when I'm flipping through I can find it easily. And then just below that is a quick little layout of the calendar that I can write underneath any important dates that I need to write down before I get to that week during this month. I still have the future log from earlier this year in the main year layout, so I still have everything that I need as far as any details for the dailies or events that are happening for the month. So this is just so I can see where days are in the week or dates are, and then if I need to find something, I can switch to that future log to make sure that I haven't missed anything when I'm planning each week. The theme this month is just purple circles. I used 3 different purple colors just to give a little bit of color out on the paper without getting super intricate in design. I chose the color purple because my grandmother's favorite color was purple, and I just recently lost her, so I chose purple because it's her favorite color. This layout kind of reminds me of that focus graphic that comes on before movies. I like how simple it was and so very different from anything that I've done before this. As I said before, this next page includes the weekly spread, the habit trackers, the chore list, and note pages. I needed everything to be a little bit more streamlined. The last 2 months I've been using a pretty intricate layout with timestamps and charts and the separate pages for those trackers, but I find that I'm using this app called Huckleberry to keep track of feedings and diaper changes, which is why I had such an intricate layout before, and now I don't really need that much space, except for I'm getting busy again since it's been a while, so I do need planning space, but I don't need to track everything so incessantly like I did before. And because my pages are so big, everything fits very nicely into this one spread. It might not work for an A7 journal, but mine is an A4, I think. It's almost the size of a complete sheet of paper on each page, and that's why it's easy for me to be able to put 1 week on one side and another week on the other side. But I did want to try to create more space and have room in the margins to write stuff down during the week. So I made the spread only 1 week for the 2 pages with the circles around it to match that opening page. At the top of the page are those planning spaces, the 7 days, and a notes spot. And below that, on the left, is my habit trackers, and on the right are chore trackers, which I carved down from the daily chart that I had in other months that I started for March, I believe, that has everything broken down through a different area of the house for a day. I just found that I'm not keeping up with it right now. I am keeping everything clean, but it's not working to do that in a schedule like I had written down in my journal, so it's just stuff that has to get done, and I can mark off what day I did it, so next week I know when I need to do certain kind of chores. Because the circles were so small on the first page, I wanted to make them proportional to the bigger page, the bigger spread, so I used much bigger circles. I actually used washi tape to outline the circles, the smaller two circles, and I used a cap from a jar to outline the larger circles. And I just did that so that they would be somewhat actually circular, and I just drew them in without worrying about them being perfect with the marker. After that, I just quickly labeled each of the boxes with the days of the week, and then put the first letter of the day of the week down at the habit and chore trackers, so that when I fill in the chores and the habits, I can just tick off which day that I've done them. And here it is all together in case you forgot what the first page looked like.